the thing that we're not dying to talk about, because I've been dying to talk
Yes.
about this shit since it happened. And one of my favorite main event fights, I've favorite. I don't know. It's easy to get caught up in the moment. I'll say this: one of the most jaw-dropping athletic
Impressive performances.
performances, and I'm saying athletic because I'm saying across sports. Like what we just witnessed was like watching Kobe's 81-point game or some shit.
It really might have been though, huh?
he
It
broke
really
so
might
many
like
records.
and like bro, whenever he I will get to it, but like whenever he uh during the Browns game, yeah, well they just happen to play every day in the early morning slot because they suck and they want to play in a small market. That's the point. No one gives a shit about Baker Mayfield. Now here, Tom Brady. Now here's the point. Max Holloway at one point was dodging strikes, backing up, and screaming to the announcers, "I'm the best boxer in the UFC." He wasn't even focused on Calvin Kattar and just dodging. It was insane.
It was so insane. It he was like everybody says like just throws out the term flow state like it's like a kind of a catchy term to say when you're discussing MMA, and a lot of fighters claim that they can enter it or whatever, but no, that was fucking flow state. Like
Yeah,
he was somewhere else, man. Like I don't know if you've seen that movie Soul, like where like
I haven't yet.
the cartoon. All right, so there's this part, that, and I know strange connection, but like the new Disney movie Soul, like there's this place whenever like musicians happen to it, athletes happen to it. Like whenever you're just somewhere else, like you're just so in the zone that like you're just like floating. Like there's in the movie Soul, it says like your soul like goes to this other place in that moment. And like that's what that shit reminded me of. Like he was just like on this
Oh, that's
other
cool.
level, and just like I don't know, he put on like a god level performance, and and man, Max Holloway just the output, but it wasn't output for the sake of output. Like they were all like meaningful, like accurate strikes.
Like combinations, dude. Like
Insane. It was like you were just
throwing like
mashing the
five,
controller on a video
like
game.
right. That's what it really looked like. And his movement was crazy. His like ability to dodge Calvin Cater's 1-2s and like split the guard and like come with like his body shots were insanely effective. Like they were hurt. Those body shots were hurting Cater. Let me ask, did you score the first 10-9 or
Man, in the moment I did, but I was questioning if it should be 10-8 myself, like the whole like because after round two, because definitely gave round two a 10-8, like 100%,
me too?
and then after I gave round two a 10-8, I was like, well, damn, was round one a 10-8 too? So I don't
I
know.
think it was a 10-9. I've watched that fight twice as well.
Oh,
I
okay,
think it was a 10-9.
okay, okay.
But close. Close. Like that's as close as it gets to being a 10-8 while still not being.
Well,
Right? That's like the other way.
yeah, and I want to just talk about because we both when we were previewing this fight, we both were talking about like Cater's boxing and Cater's power, and how that can like be the equalizing factor in all this. But like in a night where Holloway's offense is going to be like the talking point, his chin broke Cater mentally. Because whenever Holloway was able to eat stiff shots from Cater, that like shots that potentially hurt lesser fighters, I think Cater knew right then and there. Because the only shot Cater had coming into this fight was power, and it was to land a big shot. And then
Right,
what?
yeah.
And everybody pretty much knew that, but everybody was giving Cater's power that much respect. Like, hey, this could easily happen. I mean, he was only a plus 135 underdog. Like, a lot of people thought that he could land the shot. But whenever Holloway proved that, like, that power wasn't shit and, like, it wasn't going to be a factor, he knew right then and there. And I'm not saying he quit because obviously he didn't. He put on one of the most gangster chin performances of all time. But I think, or maybe that was just me. That's whenever I knew. Whenever I saw Holloway eat a stiff one from Cater, like
And
it
just
was,
look at him again like, all right.
I was like,
I completely agree with you.
yeah,
Max is so game, man. Like he went up to 55 and fought Poirier and ate some of the craziest shots I've ever seen someone eat and not get dropped. And that's a good point to note because he's never been knocked down in the UFC.
Yeah,
That's a crazy
knocked
stat, bro.
down, never
That's a
knocked
crazy
down.
stat.
In his fighting all the people that he's fought in some.
Aldo twice, Volkanovski twice, McGregor.
He's never been knocked down. Like it's one thing to never been knocked out. That's cool too. But like to never been knocked down, and yeah, and then
Anthony Pettis, like he's fought legends only.
and I mean, Kattar's power was getting like legit respect from, and I know nobody probably wants to go back and claim that now. But if you like watching all the shows leading up to, I mean, legit fight people, legit MMA people, legit boxing people, all were giving Kattar's power like, hey, his power is like the real deal. But Holloway it did not faze him at all.
You know what I think is an important stat to note as well? Holloway landed at almost the same percentage as Kattar, but Holloway landed as many significant strikes as Kattar threw. Imagine that.
Yeah,
Kattar threw 290 strikes. Holloway landed 290 significant strikes. He threw over 700 total strikes.
Yes, which is a record. Both of those numbers are records. The pace, like I said, it didn't seem like real. Like it seemed like a martial arts movie or something. Like
Bro, I mean, you're talking about the average 140 strikes a round, which comes down to be like 27 strikes a minute, which means a strike every 2 seconds is coming at you.
And
That's
it's
insane.
It's an important to note too that he was using all 8 limbs or all 8 weapons.
Bro,
like,
the elbows he was laying in the second round, oh my God.
And that's what I wanted to note too. In the second round, Kattar was saved by the bell. Like,
yes, he was about to get finished on the cage.
If that round was 10 seconds longer, this fight does not go the distance. I mean, or maybe it does, but I don't think so. Because I mean,
that's where we get the quote, as 10-8 as it gets. That's that round.
Yes, because
which totally makes sense. Like that, you could have said 10-7. Honestly.
Bro, you could have said 10-7 because it was a 10-8 round.
Until the last segment where he starts beating his ass worse.
Exactly, bro. Like that was a 10-8 round, even if he wasn't saved by the bell. Like even if Kattar would have somehow managed to like escape and run around for that last 10 seconds. But you factor in this because sometimes the saved by the bell thing is enough to make it a 10-8, even on a less dominant round than that. Like I'm saying that was a 10-8 even without that. So you factor in, man, that could have very easily been a 10-7. And maybe a judge did score a 10-7 because the math on did you do the math on the final score? And I guess
I scored it the same as one of the judges who scored. So 50-43 times 2 and then 50-42 was one. I scored it 50-42.
54. And what is that? Is that 4 10-8s or is that 3 10-8s? Is that 3 10-8s?
3 10-8s. So I gave the first a 10-9 and I gave the third a 10-9. But I think the fourth and fifth were clearly 10-8. The fourth, it's amazing that they didn't, one, throw the towel in as the corner, or B, that Herb Dean was loose as shit
Loose.
And like he was close. He was yelling, "Calvin, defend yourself." And
but
then Calvin did though. No, but he did. That was the crazy part.
And he would land. He
landed hard with a couple hooks.
Yes, like that's what was so crazy. I don't know, bro. Like, so first off, I want to say that I could not sit down. Like, after the first round, I stood up the entire fight. Like, I looked like a freaking cokehead. Like, I was like just like freaking walking around like, oh my god, and like it was just the energy. It was so amazing. I couldn't sit down, and then also like. I did find myself kind of wanting Kattar's corner to throw in the towel. I got to be real. Maybe that makes
near
me
the end of the fourth. I did. No,
like,
it's just like he's young and really skilled, and he doesn't need to take this damage. Like he can't win that fight. He's throwing his best at him, and he's getting sapped by the body shots. Like Tyson Chartier, like you're one of my favorite coaches. Throw it, bro.
All right, I'm glad we're on the same page there. And I'll be real, and I want to kind of bring in the Holloway chin factor thing again. It's the weird thing where it wasn't in a weird way. I know this is going to sound like it doesn't make sense, but like it wasn't Holloway's offense that made me want to throw in the towel. It was the fact that he would
eat the shots and also dodge so many of them.
Yeah,
and Kattar didn't throw that. I mean, Kattar threw 60 strikes around. That's a lot for most fighters, but Not in this fight. It was
just
nothing.
Holloway had proven time and time and time again that he could eat Kattar's best shot. So when you're down 4 rounds to nothing, you're literally, they call it like a puncher's chance. Like it's a praying for a knockout. You're finish hunting, and but that wasn't going to happen. Like if he could eat your punches in round one, he can definitely eat these punches when you're half dead.
Right.
So they said it was like Holloway's chin more so than Holloway's offense that made me want to like throw in the towel. They said, yeah, I think DC was right there with us. Like, man, that fourth and fifth round was tough to watch. I mean, it was just so one
The
sided.
fourth, especially. The fourth, I mean, he was just literally beating the shit out of him. I wrote the fact that Kattar was still standing was wild.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, and it's nothing we're saying needs to be taken as slides towards Kattar, because this is one of
So,
those situations. I don't care who was standing across from Holloway that night.
yeah, he was going to beat the fuck out of him.
And I'll even throw Volkanovski in there. Like, seriously, that barrage, that weight class, like, there was no answers to it, bro. It's like, and I want to say, like, it's like in team sports, like in football or basketball, like if a team's losing by 40 points, you put in backups.
Yeah, you take the foot off the gas. Holloway did not do that.
Well, or even the team getting beat takes out their starters to prevent like injury.
Yeah.
The nature of MMA, it's 1 versus 1. That's not an option. Like, I was like, send in the stunt double, dog.
Dude, it was crazy. And like, so did you score it 10-9 first, 10-8 second, 10-9 third, 10-8 fourth?
I'll be real. I was so like,
Like you'd agree though with those
I
scores?
agree with it. It was just so obvious and such ass whooping, like in the moment when I was taking my notes, and I was just so like
So
freaking.
do you think the fifth was a 10-8?
Dude, like honestly, like I guess I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on the first, saying that the first is not, but any of the other ones easily could have been, and like I'm
You
not
think even
like,
the third?
bro.
I think the third was 10-9, but I don't think it was 10-8. I think that was the only one where Kattar has a defense to say it's not 10-8.
Like sure, like I said, I'm not gonna. It was so one sided, and it's just like I don't know. Like I wasn't. I was caught up in the moment and just looking at just this ass whooping and like the volume, the record setting volume.
And how good Holloway was doing it. Like the
It,
fact that he was talking to the commentators while he was fighting.
yeah, all of that, and like I was like actually worried for Kattar, and like I'm like, well, like I don't know, bro. Like, I just was like let the numbers fall as they lie on this particular ass whooping, because it just was such a dominant performance. Like I said, you could let the numbers fall how they lie, is how I felt about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
it was just. It's like, I don't know, in some game where Patrick Mahomes throws for 600 yards, like how many points did they win by? Like, I don't know. Did they win by 21, 35? I don't fucking know. But Mahomes was amazing. Like that's how I feel about that. Like
Dude, like,
I can't tell you how many points the Lakers won by in Kobe's 81-point game, but I can tell you Kobe scored 81. Like that's how I felt when watching Max Holloway's performance last night.
so